Shalom, Hebrews. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Okay, Hebrews, we got to discuss the culture that our enemies, our captors, trying to put down on us. They've been trying to do it for a long time, and its origin go all the way back to the promised land. How our enemies are trying to emasculate the Hebrew male, because they know that the Hebrew male is the Creator's warrior, his soldier. And one of the quickest way to neutralize one of Almighty Yah's soldier is to turn them gay. And even though it was a wicked, evil, gay culture before us Israelites came in contact with them Canaanite tribes, that's where that mess gonna come from. And that's the origin that the Tanakh history give you, where the that evil, wicked culture come from. And it's gonna come from the Canaanite kids. And I say that the Canaanite kids mixed in with Cain. Cain is gonna be the individual that killed Abel, and then the Creator took Cain's pigmentation, and then Cain took off. He the first murderer and liar. He told the first lie when the Creator, asked him, where his brother at? And then he said he don't know where his brother at. He ain't his brother's keeper. So he told a lie, after he done killed him. So then he took off. The Creator chased him on the way. He had to get on down. And then he didn't get no instructions on not to be evil and wicked as Seth, Adam's other kids that he had was given instructions. They was given instructions on not to be wicked and evil. But Cain, he didn't get no instructions, and then he took off to the east. And then I show that he took off to the Caucasus Mountain, man, around about them regions, around about them parts, and how he took off to the Caucasus Mountain, and then how he was, like up there in the Caucasus Mountain, but then how he was like in Turkey. Turkey got a whole bunch of underground cities and so forth. And then I showed that because he was in disagreement and rebellion with the Creator, and that his descendants, I don't know how he come up with a woman, but he got a woman and he had some kids. And these gonna be the people that's named in Genesis, that's not named with Prophet Noah's sons' descendants. That's like you get Sir, you get the Zeboims, and you get a whole bunch of names of tribes of people that's not listed with Noah's sons, Adam, Ham, Shem, and Japhet. You don't get them people listed among their genealogy. So you got Sir, you got the Horites, and so forth. Those gonna be Cain descendants, and Cain descendants ain't gonna have no pigmentations. In the Hittites gonna be Cain descendants, but they try to peg it to Heth, Cain, the Canaanite descendant. Even though they heritage went all the way to Zidon, Zidon. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show this and how Zidon, Cain kids heritage is gonna be real close to Turkey, where the Canaanites, the Cain and his descendants were underground in them caves and stuff. And that's gonna be where all that wickedness and gay stuff come from the beginning. After the flood, is gonna be Cain descendants in them caves, and then they gonna be wicked and evil up in there, and then they gonna get out and then go around to the Zogorus Mountain and come into Babylon. But how they had mixed with Cain, the Canaanites, how Cain mixed with the Canaanite seed, and you can kind of see this in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's like Sodom and Gomorrah. They ain't gonna be listed among, towns and cities back in the ancient days were named after individuals and so forth, and how Sodom and Gomorrah ain't gonna be named among Noah's descendants and so forth. But how these towns pop up, and they gonna be 9 out of 10 named after the founders. Those gonna be Cain descendants, the killer, the one that killed Abel. And that's where all the wickedness gonna come from, and he gonna pass his wickedness off to the Canaanites, and the Canaanites would turn gay and wicked. Two wicked nations. They gonna be doing some wicked and evil stuff like that. Especially if the prophet Noah cursed Canaan. You know what I'm saying? And we know that Ham ain't did nothing wicked. They try to make you think that the first homosexual act is gonna be with Ham allegedly raping Prophet Noah, but we know that's a lie, and we know Prophet Noah would have killed Ham, and then his brothers Ham and Japhet would have helped him kill Ham. You see what I'm saying? So we know that didn't happen, and that our enemies who our heritage failed to are Amorites, and that gay stuff is part of their culture. Them gonna be the same people that's got control of the Hebrew community man here in captivity, and how they influencing the Hebrews the same way that the tribe of Benjamin were coerced into being like that. They started kicking it with them Amorite tribes in Jebus. Those are Amorites too, and then how that they would turn gay, and we'll have to almost put their lights out. I'm gonna read some of that, but this is the origin of where that anti-creator stuff gonna come from. The tribes and the peoples that was against the creator after he done put a curse on them, and that curse wasn't uplifted. It wasn't no curse taken off Canaan. It wasn't no curse taken off the Canaanites, and we know that it was a punishment coming to Cain for murdering his brother, and then the creator outlined that by saying that, that Canaan, that Cain gonna be hooked up with the devils some kind of way, because how the creator said that how he'll bruise our head, and then how we'll bruise his heel, which make him fall in the end, and how Cain is gonna be associated with the fallen angelic beings. And then you can confirm that is that these angelic beings, it's only a couple of people in the past the humans could have come from. It's either Adam and his descendants, and then how Cain took off from the Garden of Eden, and then I say that he went down into them mountains at the Caucasus Mountain, and then went up underground, because he gonna be the only one with some digging tools and know how to deal with metals and metallurgy and so forth. So he gonna be digging underground, and then he gonna get introduced with astrology and all that stuff from those angelic beings, from mixing with them. You see what I'm saying? So then all that's gonna be in the world, and then they gonna the Amorites and the Canaanite tribes territory went all the way up there. So then they gonna take all that stuff to Babylon, and then when the creator destroyed those angelic beings, the original ones, now we had to deal with the second branch of them, their descendants. And we got up with them and fought them when our father Abraham was given the Canaanite territory, and then how we went into Egypt, and then come out of Egypt with prophet Moses, and we had to fight Og and so forth. Those are gonna be giants. Those are gonna be giants of the Amorites. Those are gonna be giants of the Amorites, the fallen angelic beings, who they start worshiping them, and then they would, the two wicked cultures, Cain and the Canaanites, you know, that's where that gay stuff gonna come from. All three of them, that's their trinity. And that's where that trinity stuff come from, you know. And then they gonna be all gay and stuff. And then they gonna introduce that immortality is just a anti-creator statement, you know. And then, you know, they'll do that for population control. They had male prostitutions in their temples. You know, they priests would get money and gold and so forth for pimping the male individuals, just like the male rappers are being pimped. You know what I'm saying? In the music industry by the same people who originated the gay culture. You know, the whole Hollywood is founded by the Amorite Sephardi's, and the Ashkenazi is mixed up in that. But they mostly take the black gay rappers to use that as a vehicle to encourage the youth to go that way and so forth. But it's an anti-creator statement. And then how we Hebrews was supposed to have got rid of them evil devils, the Canaanite culture. We was supposed to have got rid of it, and then it wouldn't be no stuff like that on the earth. No abominations like that gay stuff. And you know, the creator was strictly against that, because you can't populate the earth, and how they are anti-creator and they against the population of the earth and so forth. And how that these people then took the whole Western culture come from them. But these gonna be the giants. Them gonna be the giants that Cain and Canaan seed mixed up with. And then that would be them people in the Bible like Sir, the Horites and so forth, that ain't got no descendancy from Noah, that could trace his descendancy all the way back to the prophet of Adam and so forth. Okay, so we're going to show where this whole gay stuff come from, and how the Hebrews are being tricked into a Canaanite culture. You know, being tricked into the Canaanite culture and practicing a culture that we Hebrews were supposed to destroy long time ago. And how did that evil wickedness bring destruction upon the civilization when it reach a certain level, and it's at that level now, and how they trying to take us down with them. It's like if they want to, if the enemies of the creator want to take you down with them, is if they introduce you to their gay stuff. They know that you're going down with them for certain. You see what I'm saying? And that them people who practice that stuff don't have no morality, and they subject to all kind of wickedness and mischief, and how that they mentality is guided by some people that go all the way back 3,000-4,000 years of controlling Western civilization. You know, the Babylonian scribes. You know, and I explain in a whole bunch of videos who the Babylonian scribes is. But let's see some scriptures about this here, because man, you know, if we can get a better insight with the scriptures, then it'll have a more lasting effect. But that Canaanite culture is anti-creator, and you know, it's the expression. No, it's the expression of the fallen angelic beings in Canaan and Cain, because they wasn't redeemed, and the creator didn't turn his wrath back from them and so forth. And how that, you know, they was enemies of the creator, and how that they descendants are still here on earth, and how that gay stuff is part of, you know, that expression and so forth. Real wicked evil spirit, you know. All right, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of man, and they were fair, and they took them wives, all which they chose. And I got a video showing that that word fair can be traced back to a white and no pigmentation, and how that, you know, they wouldn't have no pigmentation, Cain seed and so forth. And how, you know, the giants, you know, gonna be mixed with them. And then I show you the picture of the giants. You know, the giants is gonna be them folks, and how we were supposed to have took them giants out. we were supposed to have took them giants out. And then, you know, that's the Anunnakis, Nabu, and Murdoch, and them evil, fallen, angelic beings who the Amorites worship, and so forth. And how we destroyed the last fruit of them when we come out of Egypt and was coming into Canaan. They was like the last fruit of them. And then, but how that they had mixed with the Amorites, and the Amorites would carry on their legacy. And the Amorites could be traced to the Sephardians, the Sephardists. And then those are the people that promote that evil, wicked abomination because they are Canaanites. All right. So we see that the giants, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. That means that's gonna be after the flood. You know, after the flood is when the sons of Yah come into the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. The same became mighty men, which were old and of renown. And Yah saw that the wickedness of men was great. That's gonna be them. And anytime that the Creator say wickedness, that's gonna include that gay stuff, the robbing, the killing, the murdering, all that go hand in hand. You know, all that go hand in hand. So, you know, that wickedness gonna be, you know, from the giants. From the giants. And we see who the giants are, and we could trace the giants to Babylon and then to the Canaanite tribes mixed in with them. So that legacy from here, from Genesis, would be passed over to the Canaanite tribes. All right, so we see the wickedness. We see that word wickedness, saw that the wickedness of man was great on earth. So that's going to be them. And then they're going to be doing all that anti-creation stuff. And then, you know, flood and so forth. But then, you know, we know how that them folks, you know, went underground and probably had some secret passages. You know, they went underground and probably had some secret passages because, you know, they got some part where the water, you know, where they got air pockets underground and stuff, and how them devils live underground in them air pockets and stuff up in them caves, and that water couldn't get them, and then how they'll be nasty and diseased and everything up in there. And then this is in Turkey, what Cain in the angelic beings was underground, hiding from the Creator's wrath. All right, let me.
To the bedrock, covering an area of over 4 miles squared.
And see it. Oh,
it includes temples.
This is really. All right, let me see. All right. Listen to him.
Approximately 20,000 people. The underground city has extending passages that connected to other design and would have been enough room to comfortably house approximately 20,000 people. The underground city has extending passages that connected to other neighboring and underground water well systems, providing fresh water. What is especially interesting regarding this underground world is the evidence to suggest that they were hiding from something terrifying. A sophisticated security system consisting of a particular build design, accompanied by numerous gigantic rolling stone blocking doors that would seal the city from the inside.
Look, and then I can show you that the angelic beings was kind of like the same as we is today. It is when you see that the prophet Abraham was sitting outside, and 3 individuals fell up on him, and then he acknowledged one of the individuals as being the Creator Yah. And guess what? They was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Gonna be the gay city. Gonna be the gay city that Cain and the Canaanites created. You know, that's gonna be the gay cities back then, you know, because it was much evil and wickedness, you know what I'm saying, after the flood. And then them folks, you know, got to roaming around. And then especially after Prophet Noah had cursed Canaan, you know, because as I see it in the video at first, you know, they try to make Ham as the first gay dude, you know, saying that he went in there and raped his daddy. while he was drunk. And then, I'm telling you that that's a lie. And that how Prophet Noah would have killed, Prophet Noah and his other sons would have killed Ham for that. And that how Ham couldn't have never got away for raping his daddy. And how the prophet wasn't going to put no curse on Canaan. He would have put a curse on Ham. But because Ham disrespected his father, and wasn't honorable enough to cover him up when he came in there and seen him laid out, because he had, drunk the grape juice, the creator, caused the food to grow, did miracle growth, and them grapes fermented. And then how prophet Noah would, drink that juice, and then he'll pass out. And back then they didn't have no pants, so he had a robe on. And then how Ham gonna probably come in the tent and see his father passed out, and then go say, "Oh, look at him." He probably the oldest and want to take charge. "Oh, look at him. He all drunk and passed out, and then left his daddy all like that. All uncovered and out. You know what I'm saying? Exposed. Whereas the other brothers, heard it, and they go in there and they ain't even want to look at their daddy like that. So they don't even have them old wicked thoughts in they mind, and then they covered their daddy up. And then when Prophet Noah woke up, he said that Ham's sons gonna be some servants, gonna be some servants to Japhet and so forth, but some servants. And that's because his daddy was too lazy. Ham was too lazy to go cover his daddy up. But how our heritage, the Israelite history and heritage, them fell into the hands of those Amorites, those Babylonian scribes who promote that evil and wickedness, that they done told a whole different story about the prophet Noah. They want you to come into Tanakh history with evil, wicked thoughts and so forth. And we know that the prophet Noah wouldn't have did nothing like that, and how our enemies, put that stuff in folks' minds. But as I said, that the creator was, that them angelic beings came in human form and digested food and so forth, and that they was going to destroy a gay culture. And that gay culture gonna be, Cain and the Canaanite culture, because the Amorites and so forth. But let's look and see. All right. Yeah, this is Prophet Abraham right here. Prophet Abraham was told, that he would get Canaan and so forth because of the evil wickedness of the Canaanites and so forth, and how that they was with all that old evil wickedness, that gay stuff and everything, sleeping with their mamas, their sisters, their daughters, and all this gonna come from Cain not getting no instructions when he took off underground into them caves, the Caucasus Mountain, and in them underground cities in Turkey. And then how the Canaanite tribes inheritance went all the way up there, and then how that they would mix with them folks, and then how that disbelief in the creator would pass over to the Canaanite kids, since they was already cursed from their daddy being lazy. Alright, but let me show you that them was some human-like people that them folks underground in Turkey was hiding from, and they couldn't have been hiding nothing but from the creators and the angels. They gonna duck underground. Alright. And the Elohim, this is Genesis 18. And the Elohim appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. That's Prophet Abraham, getting some fresh air. He kicking it in his tent. He at the door, getting some fresh air. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. Man, they done snuck up on him real good. He kicking it at the door, and next thing he turn around, some folks standing in front of him. But you see them say 3 men. 3 men stood by him, and when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground and said, My Elohim, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched and wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree, and I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And he said, so do as thou hast said. But he gonna know that these some angelic beings, the heavenly hosts, they might have, you know what I'm saying? They was like Hermes. They might have had on some different attire, some different clothing that would have let him know instantly that these, people ain't, from here and so forth. And the technology that they possibly had. Because we know that they, did a flashbang on them folks when they circled that house and tried to get them in there, and how they blind them. There's going to be a flashbang, the first flashbang, and I'm going to read this whole story about how these angelic beings were going to destroy wicked Sodom and Gomorrah, and how Prophet Abraham nephew Lot was there, and so forth, and how them folks tried to get them and wanted to have sex with them and so forth, and them gonna be the Cain and Canaanites. Sodom and Gomorrah is gonna be where that come from. All right, and Abraham hastened. Let me see. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And he said, so do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened unto the tent unto Sarah, and said, make ready quick 3 measures of fine meal, and knead it, and make a cake upon the earth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. But you see that those angelic beings was eating some food and everything. So you know that those folks underground, them folks underground, hiding and stuff, gonna be then hid from them angelic beings. Them the only folks that they could have been hiding from. Alright. And that's gonna be Cain descendants, and that's gonna be where all that gay stuff come from underground in them caves. Probably dark up under there. It's probably dark up underground because they ain't got the lights and stuff that we got today. And then they get to touching on each other and get to feeling on each other in that darkness. And then that might be where that evil, wicked, gay stuff come from the Caucasus Mountain in them caves and underground with them non-pigmented peoples groping around in the dark and stuff. They ain't gonna have no flames too much. And then they gonna be underground in them holes in the dark. And then they gonna probably be touching on each other, them males and so forth.
Underground water well systems providing fresh water. What is especially interesting regarding this underground world is the evidence to suggest that they were hiding from something terrifying. A sophisticated security system consisting...
See, they was hiding from something terrifying. And look, these things go back, that's way in the Genesis days. 110,000-year-old underground city, that's going to be in the Genesis days. That's going to be Cain in them underground. And then they going to be in the dark and stuff. And man, they going to be touching on each other. Them failing angelic beings with no pigmentation. And then you got Cain. He ain't got no pigmentation. And then they all underground. And then they going to be touching on each other and so forth. And then they going to spread that culture to Cain, to the Canaanites. And I'm going to show you that the Canaanites inheritance went all the way into Sodom and Gomorrah. That's going to be where those folks hanging at too when they come off and up underground in the form of the Hittites. The Hittites going to be a Cain and a Canaanite mixture. And then they going to be the people that brung all that wickedness to everybody. And then the Amorites going to mix in heavily with them. Because they was all in the Amorite culture. We're all in Cain culture. The Canaanites culture. Alright. I want to finish this story, man, about Prophet Abraham. But I also want to show how that them people, Cain seed went all the way to the to where Turkey was at. I could do that real quick, and then I'm gonna show how them angelic beings went to destroy one of their civilizations. You see, all right, then as you read Genesis 10, you're gonna see, Ham's descendants and so forth, and how Mesopotamia and so forth was created by the pigmented peoples and so forth. And then, how you get to Cain, the Canaanites, who gonna be cursed by Prophet Noah, and he ain't gonna have no pigmentation. And then as you reading where his inheritance went, you gonna see Sidon. Sidon gonna be real close to Turkey. It's gonna be like at the foot of the Turkey, where all them underground cities was, where all them old heathens was. And then our enemies will try to connect Heth to the Hittites. But I know that those are two different people, because if we had the Hittites who they were, we could have easily just said that the Hittites were Heth. But how our enemies, who our heritage fell into, our history fell into the Babylonian scribes, and how they try to change things up through translations. All right. And Canaan begat Sidon, and Sidon begat Heth, and the Jebusites. I'm going to show you how the Jebusites, who are Amorites, the Gishvites, and the Havites, the Archites, but the Jebusites and the Amorites turned the tribe of Benjamin out. The tribe of Benjamin was living close to them. See, anytime you live close to them, some of y'all gonna get turned out into some gay stuff, and then they gonna use the gay stuff to turn everybody else out with the wickedness and stuff. Because if you accept that, then you gonna accept all the other wickedness that they got to put on you, and then that's how they rule and control people and civilizations and so forth. The ones that they can't enslave outright, they'll put the evil, wicked culture on you and enslave you that way. All right, and Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, Heth, and the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Girgashites, the Havites, the Archites, and the Sinites, and the Ardividites, and Zemarites, and the Hamathites. After were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. So they gonna come in contact with them failing angelic beings, and with Cain descendants and so forth spreading out. They gonna run across them giants and so forth, which did happen. As I show you that the Amorites controlled Babylon, and then we got images of the giants and the Amorites together. All right, and the border of the Canaanite was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gur unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah. That's gonna be, see, Sodom and Gomorrah gonna be where the evil and wicked gay folks hung out at. But let's see Sidon. Man, I got a map up here. The map. And Sidon is gonna be where Try was. And that's Try. Alright, that's Try. That's Try. Right there. And Sidon was right over here. Sidon gonna be right over here on the coast. And then as you look, that go Turkey and all them underground cities where the devil's at. And then over here in the corner, you get the Caucasus Mountain. You get the Caucasus Mountain where the devils was. But they was underground in Turkey mostly. They was underground in Turkey mostly. That's where the devils was. And that's where them no pigmented people that was hiding from the Creator. So Canaan, the Canaanites, tribes and inheritance went all the way down here, down that coast. So they gonna be right at the foot, men, of where those people that don't like the Creator, you know what I'm saying, the people that's anti-creator, those Canaanites, Cain and the angelic beings. They gonna be hanging there, and then Cain seed gonna mess with them. And then as you go over here, you're gonna see that Babylon is right over here. And then the Caucasus Mountain, you see, that's where Babylon at. Everything freezing up. Alright, man, you see that's gonna be where Babylon at, right over here. But then before then it's gonna be Iran, and it's gonna be the Zagros Mountains right here. This is where they snuck around from Turkey from right here all the way around to the Zogor's Mountain and come in Babylon, and then they gonna mix with the Canaanite tribe. But you see how Cain's seed and inheritance went all the way to Sodom and Gomorrah. Now we're gonna go back to reading what the prophet Abraham was doing with them angelic beings, with the creating host, and where they was going. Now we remember that they had pulled up, and we know that them folks some humans and got feet and can eat and digest food and so forth, as prophet Abraham brought them some food. So that would make sense why them folks be terrified and hiding underground in them caves and so forth, and then fix it where you can't hardly get them. So them angels probably say, well, we're gonna get up with them, and then how we Israelites supposed to be the creator soldier, his army, and we supposed to have took care of all them folks and stuff like that, and that's why come they don't want us to have the covenant, and why they quick to turn the Hebrews out into that gayness, because they know it's basically you can come back from all the other sins, but you can't come back from that sin. It's hard to come up out that one. All right, and Abraham hastened to the tent unto Sarah and said, make ready the quick 3 measures of fine meal. And they made the cakes, and Abraham ran to the herd and fetched the herd, and he took the herd, and he took butter and milk and the calf and dressed it and set it before them, and they stood and ate it, and then they asked where our mother Sarah was, and then he told them she was in the tent, and he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son, and shall heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. When you get a certain age and stuff, it's just, man, getting in that bed and doing that is kind of like some work and stuff. So I guess that's kind of how it was with prophet Abraham, All right, because he ran to the herd and got the herd and so forth. All right. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am old, waxing old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Elohim said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? And is anything too hard for the Elohim? At the time appointed I will return it to thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. He was telling that's that on that. She gonna have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. This the heavenly host right here. And he said, nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Elohim said, shall I hide from Abraham that which will I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. And all the nations of the earth has been blessed in Abraham's seed, Isaac through Jacob, and then the 12 tribes, and then us taking us into captivity, and all the things that we done created. Now basically gave the world a good start. All this technology that you people in the earth that is enjoying today can be slick traced to us in the slavery days, in the inventions that we created, that our enemies took from us, that we didn't get no credit for. You see what I'm saying? Like the stoplight and a whole bunch of other stuff, that we created, and our enemies snatched it up ASAP because we in bondage. And then how did they created it? The computers and everything, all that can be traced to us. Cars and all that stuff. The lights, I'm saying? They wouldn't have no lights right now today if it wasn't for our inventions, but how our enemies took all that. All right. So, that come to pass how the whole earth has been blessed. And when the Creator say blessed, he's speaking in technology-wise and inventions and so forth. And then that came to pass. All right. For I know that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Elohim to do justice and judgment, that the Elohim may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken to him. And the Elohim said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous. Now, very grievous is going to be all the wickedness, the killing, the robbing and stealing. You remember the Sodom and Gomorrah gonna come from the Canaanites and Cain descendants, and how both of them was cursed, and then how that Cain didn't get no instructions after he killed his brother and was taken off, and the flaming sword went after him. He gonna be no one underground in Turkey to hide, and then how they gonna all mix up, and then how all that wickedness and so forth gonna be just rampant back then because of them, and it wasn't nobody to put that stuff out because the Egyptians was kind of like on their level too. All right. And the Elohim said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Elohim, and Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? Because he know his lot of them gonna be took off there and the when they stayed there. So he gonna be trying to speak up for his relatives that done got lodged up in that spot. All right. That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee, shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Now this Abraham talking to the creator, the judge of all the earth. He asking him that if he gonna destroy some righteous people with the wicked people. And then this is what the creator said. And the Elohim said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. You see, the creator gonna be knowing that, that Sodom and Gomorrah gonna be coming off them Cain and them angelic beings. Them gonna be the people that ain't listed with Noah's genealogy through Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And that how that them gonna be, some wicked folks, and that's where all the gay stuff gonna come from, and then they gonna be mixed up with the Amorites because they gonna be the giants. And then the Amorite culture went from Babylon to Canaan, and then the Canaanites, we didn't destroy them, and how did the whole Western culture come from them through the Amorites? It's a cold thing going on. And then how them same people own the media because they are scribes and they control all media. That's just their habit. Whenever they come around somewhere, they instantly take over the media. All right. And the Elohim said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Elohim, which am but which I am but dust and ashes. Peradventure thou shalt lay 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for the lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 45, I will not destroy. Boy, the creator counting. See, that's where all the numbers and technology come from. Gonna come from the creator and his heavenly host. And giving it to man and mankind and so forth. They counting good. And he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 around there. And he said, I will not do it for the sake of 40. And he said unto him, oh, let not the Elohim be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Elohim. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I would not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, let not the Elohim be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be there. And the Elohim said, I would not destroy it for 10's sakes. And the Elohim went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place. And there come 2 angels to Sodom at even. They done fell up on Sodom. It's judgment day. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. You know what I'm saying? He probably kicking it away from them folks. On way, choose to go hang out there. And Lot seen them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. He knew instantly who they was. Lot knew that the heavenly host is there to judge that city, and that's probably why Lot was kicking it on the, on the outskirts. Remember, Lot and his nephew, Abraham nephew and them got snatched up by the people from Mesopotamia that had came and robbed them Amorites, them gay Amorites, and robbed them. And how Prophet Abraham rescued his folks. Well, Lot just probably went on back with them to chill. And also that, Prophet Abraham cattle was and livestock was growing and stuff. So Lot done went on that way and ended up fooling with them folks there. But he recognized who the angel was ASAP, because he put his face towards the ground. And he said, behold now, my Lord, turn in, I pray you, unto your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night, finna see what's going on. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. See, they eating. So, they got human characteristics. So it makes sense why them folks underground in Turkey be trying to hide and go deep underground, trying to get away from the heavenly host. Let me see. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarters. They done all fell up on that house. Who is these folks? The word and spread. Somebody new done come into town, and somebody new done come into town. And then all the gay folks done rose up. You know what I'm saying? To go see what was going on. All right. See, both young and old men. You see, it said, but they lay down, the men of the city. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round about, old and young. It ain't say nothing about no women and stuff being with them. So it was some old gay folks and some young gay folks. They gayness and wickedness been going on for a long time. All right, and they called out unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which come in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. That might be, how they get down and rape you when you come in their town. Then you gonna fall in right behind them with the wickedness. If you come in town and they done raped you, and then you can't run no way, no police, ain't nobody to bring judgment on them, then you gonna follow in behind their wickedness. Is how they probably had it going. You raped them folks, and then they don't have nowhere to turn to. Then they gonna be easily, to control and so forth. All right. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which come in to the tent, which come in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. But because he know how wicked they are, I wonder if they done got a hold to Lot, because Lot daughters would go do some wicked stuff, and then that's how the Moabites and the Ammonites come about. All right. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known men. Let me, I pray you, bring them unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore come they under the shadow of my roof. So he said, man, these folks in my roof for my protection, man, y'all ain't finna do this to them. Y'all ain't finna do that wickedness to them, man. Here goes some women. Now, we know that, man, today, because of the standards of how they say that, women shouldn't be touched and so forth. But back in the days, man, you can have sex with a woman and she ain't gonna die. She gonna keep on going, and that ain't the end of life. Back then, they'll snatch you, they'll kill you, and take your woman, as I've shown in other videos, how Prophet Abraham was in Egypt, and another prophet, how they'll take your wife, meaning they'll take your wife, meaning kill her. I mean, kill you and take her. And she ain't no telling what she'll go through. So having a little sex wasn't just the end of the world for the women back then, as the Amorite culture trying to make it seem now, so then they could push that gay agenda and so forth. But back then, that wasn't the end of the world. So they said, hey man, take these women, being that they gay, they might go on and don't even really do nothing to the women because they want some men and so forth. But it didn't go down like that. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known men. Let me, I pray you, bring them out. So we know it was a sexual nature and stuff why them folks was there. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore come they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back, and they said again, this one fellow come in to sojourn, and he will needs to be a judge. So they talking about, him saying, man, you just pull up, man. How you gonna be a judge to tell us what to do? That's what they told Lot. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? So they saying they finna rape the mess out of Lot too, worse, and then they finna do the angelic beings. And they press sore upon the men, even Lot, and come near to break the door down. And then gay folks can be real wicked and violent. They can be real wicked and violent. They steal some men now. They steal some men. It's just that they men with a devious, mentally ill mentality. You know what I'm saying? And that's real evil and wickedness to be penetrating where your waist come out. How more evil and wicked can you get than that? That's a straight out anti-creator statement, being that that the vagina and the penis was made for each other, and that's how babies are produced. All the other acts is gonna be anti-creation, and that's what our enemies promote. The people who heritage, the people who our heritage failed to, the people that the world think are the chosen people, but promote this evil wickedness, and how this evil wicked gay culture come from them. All right. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, it's the angelic beings, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness. With that flashbang, they did something. But both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, has there any here besides, the sons-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, because they finna break the place off, all them gay folks. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Elohim, and the Elohim has sent us to destroy it. So we know that, you get the fire and brimstone come down on them, and how that they was destroyed, but how some of them gonna be took off to the mountains. You know what I'm saying? And got on down and stuff. And Sodom, that Sodom and Gomorrah was just one area where those gay folks was, and how that they was in Babylon and in Turkey and in the Caucasus Mountain and everywhere else. But you see how that those gay folks, that's their origin. Okay, now how about when we Hebrews come out of Egypt with Prophet Moses, because like I said, we are the Creator's army. We are his army, and then it's us, how he get rid of the wicked nations. You know what I'm saying? We replace the angelic beings with getting rid of the wicked nations and so forth, and how this Canaanite culture was the most wickedest culture on the earth. And let me show you some of the wicked stuff that they was doing, that the Creator told us to destroy. All right, if you go to let's go to Leviticus 18. It'll tell you some of the Canaanite culture's wickedness, and then this is what we were supposed to not have did and so forth. All right, in the Elohim, this is Leviticus 18. And the Elohim spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Elohim your Yah. After the doings After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwell shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan where I bring ye shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinance. Ye shall do my judgment and keep my ordinance to walk therein. I am the Elohim your Yah. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. Meaning that destruction won't come down on you like the voice of their wickedness went up to the Creator. You see what I'm saying? So the wicked voice won't be going up to the Creator if you ain't doing that old evil, wicked stuff. Now, none of you shall approach to any that is near kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Elohim. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shall thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife thou shalt not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad. Even their nakedness shall thou not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughters. You see, because it was a sexual nature with them folks that the Creator destroyed. So it's a whole bunch of sexual nature that's wicked that the Canaanites was doing, that the Creator was sending us in here to destroy. And this is it. And how right now today in captivity they trying to make us wicked like them. Look, the nakedness of the son's daughter and of that daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. For there is thine own nakedness, the nakedness of thy father's wife, daughter, begotten of thy father. She is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister. For she is thy mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. She is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman in her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her daughter's daughter or her daughter's daughter, to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kin. It is wickedness. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, besides the one in her lifetime. Having two sisters married to him at the same time. Man, you got all kind of wickedness going on. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for uncleanness. Man, I told you in one of the videos how this brother used to brag about how that's how he got down, and something ended up happening terrible to him. He ended up dying in a terrible way. Or, moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her. Thou shalt not lay any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. That's the abortions. Doing them abortions. And them abortions gonna come from the Canaanite tribes. You know what I'm saying? From our enemies. The same enemies that promote this stuff to the kids now. Got all the cereal and turn all the cereal gay. All the male characters in the cereal supposed to be gay now. Man, if that ain't evil and wickedness. Alright? So, moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife. Honestly, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of the Elohim thy Yah. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with the beast to defile thyself therein. Neither thou shalt any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereof. It is confused. Defile not yourself with any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled which I cast out before you. And, and the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomit out her inhabitants. And that's what we were supposed to get in there and destroy them. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? We got in there and started to kick it with them. And then got relaxed. And then they would turn the tribe of Benjamin out. They would turn the tribe of Benjamin out. This is going to be Prophet Israel's youngest son. You know, the Jebusites, you know, them Amorites too, and how that they would turn the tribe of Benjamin out. And the tribe of Benjamin got turned out because they was kicking it with them folks, and like I say, we didn't destroy them. And whenever you live amongst them and they are not destroyed, or you push Almighty Yah's heritage to them to back them up, then they gonna put that stuff on you. They gonna put that stuff on you, and then that lower your morality and keep you from worshiping Almighty Yah. Alright, so you know the tribe of Benjamin, you know, years later, after we come out of Egypt and we was told about the sins of the Canaanite tribes, because the Canaanites are mixed up with them folks from Turkey underground and fallen angelic beings, and how that they did abominable things to express their hatred towards the Creator. How we was told, you know, not to mix up with them, but how the tribe of Benjamin got turned out, you know, fooling with them. And then this is right here, you know. So, you know, if we Hebrews are mixing up with them folks, and follow their value system, and follow the things that they hold as true culturally, then we're going to get caught up in their culture. And then that's what happened to these individuals right here. These individuals right here is awful. It's awful. Look, Hebrew males from the transatlantic slave trade, they done feminized them and done turned them in. You know what I'm saying? Done turned them out. You know, the Canaanite culture. You know, following this Canaanite culture. And all these folks, they ain't gonna know nothing about Almighty Yah. And then 9 out of 10, they gonna believe in Jesus, where they say that your sins can be forgiven. You see what I'm saying? So if you wicked like that and you believe in Jesus, then your sin can be forgiven. But we know for a certain fact that the people from the transatlantic slave trade didn't come over here messed up like that, and how we didn't come over here abominable like that from Africa, and how did that evil wickedness was introduced to our ancestors on the plantation, and how did they use that as a control mechanism. You know, this dehumanizing act, and how they done turned them individuals into monsters, and how that they been feminized, and then they tricked us during the civil rights movement, and then how they advanced all that evil wicked stuff off our suffering, and saying that we getting some rights and equality and so forth, and how that's supposed to be for everybody now. But all that was a trick to get this culture in that they've been waiting to get in, and we are the target for that. They got to do the Hebrew males like that because they know that we supposed to bring the destruction on them, like we was supposed to bring the destruction on them when we was in the promised land, where we supposed to bring the destruction on them again. And then they know this, and they know that this was said about us. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the form over all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance, and the Elohim of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider, and with thee will I also break in pieces men and women, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I was also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and the flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of iron, and with thee will I break in pieces the captain and his rulers. So we are the destroyer of this culture and this type of mentality that could be traced all the way back to the fallen angelic beings who the Canaanites worship as gods and so forth, and how all that wickedness come from them. And we know that when we came from Africa, that we, you know, when we was enslaved and brought from Africa, that we didn't have none of those evil, wicked traits on us, and how our enemies find the weak in our populations and then put that on them. Find the weak in our ethnic group and put that on them. The ones that's lost and don't know their way and confused and so forth. And then they put that on them and turn them into monsters and so forth. And then how they'll spread their evil wickedness throughout the community and how they'll be protected by our enemies and so forth. But it's gonna come a time that the creator, they ain't gonna be protected. And all those that's like that, when this country collapse, you already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. That old evil wickedness. That's gonna come from these folks right here. Living underground. Them angelic beings living underground and so forth. And Turkey mixed with them Canaanites and so forth. And then, like I say, that's a Canaanite culture. And if we would have destroyed the Canaanites, would none of that stuff be around? Okay, after we came into the promised land, and then we was going through all them bondages and going through all them hardships because we didn't destroy our enemies, because that they had a party for us. Every time we turn around, they had a party for us. And then how we was more attracted to the party and having fun than doing Almighty Yah's work, which was getting rid of them. And then how that they was ensnare us with their gods and so forth, and how they would turn some of the Hebrews out. That's like, the Egyptians turned the youngest tribe out of all the tribes gonna be the tribe of Ephraim. Turned the tribe of Ephraim out. Well, the Canaanites turned the tribe of Benjamin out. And they was young and weak. It's always the weak and young man that they target. And then, they got to target the young and the weak because they don't know. They don't know their way yet. So, that's why the enemies come double trying to get the youth with the wickedness, because if they corrupt the youth, then that's how they wickedness continue and so forth. So that's why they trying to really push that stuff in our community and targeting our youth with it. And then they know our youth listen to the rap music. They turning all the rappers gay. Wherever which way we go, they're gonna try to put that gay stuff in front of us, so you have to walk into it. But that's what your shield is for, is believing in Almighty Yah is your shield. And they can't do nothing to you. But let's see here, man, about the tribe of Benjamin being turned out. So that gay stuff has an origin. All right, and it come to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel, no leaders. Just like now, it ain't no leaders in the Hebrew Israelite community. All them so-called leaders that's in them camps, they don't know no truth. They pushing Jewish history. So it ain't no truth getting out to the people to where we can say, well, we got a leader and he directing us right. We ain't got that. That's why come, the creator, us in the Israelite brotherhood, we ain't going. We ain't letting our enemies get away. We ain't finna let our enemies get away. All right. And it come to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him. She'll take off and then go party. Probably go party with them Jebusites and all them folks. You know how these Hebrew women, these so-called black women from the transatlantic slave trade, love to go grab up a non-pigmented people to party with, thinking that they, doing something special and stuff. Well, that's probably how she was. She was doing everything. And his concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. Now, then she done took off from her man and then got on down to where her father stayed, and her father gonna stay, in, in the parts where the enemies was with that wickedness and so forth. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her. Man, he wanted his woman back. He wanted her to come on back, and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses, and she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him, because he happy, man. He go somebody stable and somebody, that's probably righteous, trying to do his daughter right, and maybe she'll settle down and do the right thing instead of, you know, being all wild and stuff. All right. And his father-in-law, the damsel father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodged there. So he done stayed over there 3 days. You know, just, you know, the girl father ain't want to let him go. Tried to keep him there. You know, probably want another meal around there, and then to see his daughter, so he'll know what's happening to her. Let me see. And it come to pass on the 4th day, when they arose early in the morning, that he arose to depart. And the damsel father said unto his son-in-law, Comfort thee in heart, and a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way. And they sat down and did eat and drink, both of them together. For the damsel father had said unto the man, Be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thine heart be merry. And when the man arose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again. And he arose early in the morning on the 5th day to depart. And the damsel father said, Comfort thee in heart, I pray thee. They tarried until the afternoon, and they did eat, both of them. And when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, and the damsel, and said unto him, Behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray ye tarry all night. He keeping him now, feeding him and keeping him now. But partner wasn't going. He had to get on home. And behold, the day groweth toward end, and lodge here, that thee in heart may be merry, and, and and tomorrow get ye early on your way, that thou mayest go. But the man would not tarry that night, but rose up and departed, and came over against Jebus, which is Jerusalem. That's going to be the Amorites whole. And there were with him 2 asses saddled, and his concubine also with him. And when they were by Jebus, the day was far spent. And the servant said unto his master, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn in into the city of the Jebusites, and lodge in it. And I mean, there had to been a whole bunch of wickedness going on. You know? And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger, that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gabah. And he and his servants came and let us draw near to one of the places to lodge all night in Gabal and Ramah. And they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were in Gabal, which belongeth to Benjamin. And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gabal. And when he went in, he sat down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took him into his house. Man, there was all kind of wickedness going on. He in the Hebrew community, and you know how we show hospitality to our own. Man, come in, sit down, man, eat. You know what I'm saying? To be cool with our own kind. But here, he was in this city in Benjamin, and everybody had their doors shut. And it wasn't no movement. You know what I'm saying? That's because a whole bunch of wickedness was going on. And the good folks ain't want to be mixing up and all this stuff. Let me see. And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim. And he sojourned in Gabal. But the men of the place were Benjamites. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. Let me show you Hebrew what it said, so you at least have a little understanding what it said. And then this is Judges 19 that I'm reading from. Alright. So this is where he gonna be at. Right there. You see Gabah and with Jerusalem. Alright, that's gonna be with them Jebusites. But as you swing on around, Sodom and Gomorrah gonna be around on this side back in the days, and Edom and Moab. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of wicked folks, you know what I'm saying, around them parts. But this is where the brother was going, to the other side of Ephraim. It's right next to Benjamin. So he was on his way there. That's where his home was. Alright. So, you know, he done come into the And he said unto him, we are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. And I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Elohim, and there is no man that receiveth me to house. He was tripping off that. He was probably perplexed. Man, here it is. I'm amongst the children of Israel. He wouldn't go to the other cities and wanted to go where his people at. And then when he get to where his people at, something strange going on. Everybody got their door locked up. He ain't been to this side of town probably in a long time, and that his female was probably from this, from the sides, of Judah and so forth. So all this wickedness going on probably new to him, and he didn't expect the children of Israel, to be like that. But they had got turned out. All right. Yet there is both straw and provider for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for my handmaid, and for the young men which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything. And the old man said, peace be with thee. However, let all thy wants lie upon me, only lodge not in the street. So he brought him into his house, and gave him provider unto the asses, and they washed their feet, and did eat and drink. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, that's going to be them Canaanite folks, beset the house round about, the same way that they did them angels with Lot and them. They circled the house. And it's probably going to come a time where the gay folks going to do that now. They always ease back in old traditions and so forth. All right, and beat at the door and spake to the master of the house, the old men, saying, bring forth the men that come into thee in house, that we may know them. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brother, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that these men is come into my house. Do not this folly. So he's saying, man, they come into my house, man, they got the protection of me, man. Y'all ain't finna bother them. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. So it's of a sexual nature, because he offering up the women. And like I say, back in the days, that, man, a woman, man, they'll kill you and take your woman, and ain't no telling what she'll go through. So them offering her up for just a little sex, man, that ain't gonna kill her. That ain't the worst. And everybody might be all right, cause the vagina and the penis was made for each other. But that other way, what they was trying to do, them gay folks to the males, man, you can't live with that. Ain't no living with that. And how that'll ruin your whole life. And how that they trying to turn them out and put them and make them the same as the folks that was gay in the city. That's like if they rape you and make you gay, you gonna fall in behind them. All right. But the men would not hearken to him. So the men took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her. They done raped her and bruised her. They probably didn't think it was all that many. And all that night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house where his lord was, till it was night. And her lord rose up in the morning, and opened the door of the house, and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, up, and let us go, be gone. But none answered. The man took her up, then upon his ass, and that man rose and get him, man, unto his place. So he then got on and took on down and got on away from there. And then he sent pieces of her body everywhere and got all the tribes together. And then we would go almost destroy the tribe of Benjamin, is what this story whole translating to. We would almost destroy the tribe of Benjamin. And then that come from that Canaanite gay culture. See how the Benjamites right next to them Jebusites, and in their territory where they got turned out. And then, that's like today. That's what the enemy is trying to do, is to turn the Israelite males out, feminize them, and then you don't have to worry about them being the creator battle axe. How you gonna be a battle axe and he a female all messed up in the mind? running around. Not saying that the females are like that, but a male trying to act like a female is messed up in the mind. Alright, Hebrews, we know that gay stuff come from the Canaanites, and how the Canaanites are the founders of that culture, because the Creator told us to go in there to destroy them. And that's like the first culture to express that evil, wickedness, and so forth. Alright, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. I pray this information did you some good.